Hi, Greg.
Senator.
Let me read Hawaii Revised Statute 711-1107, which is desecration. A person commits the offense of desecration if the person intentionally desecrates a place of worship or burial. In 2015, an ahu was built in the Mauna Kea astronomical precinct. And in September of 2015, about 2 months later, it was discovered by the same individuals that built that ahu that ahu was destroyed. And in correspondence between OHA and UH, it was noted that the desecration happened a few weeks prior, well outside of the 30-day window. Can you tell us about that?
I'm not familiar with the facts of the case, so it's difficult for me to comment.
Did a University of Hawaii employee bulldoze an ahu on the summit of Mauna Kea in the summer of 2015?
My understanding is the University of Hawaii removed an ahu. I do not know that it was bulldozed.
So I'm reading correspondence that states that it was bulldozed. And what I want to know is, it would appear to me that that violates the Hawaii administrative rules of the Conservation District, and it violates the Hawaii statute under desecration. And the university is pretty adamant that there has been no desecration or mismanagement of Mauna Kea since the comprehensive management plan. But here is a situation where ahu was desecrated.
Senator, may I help to clarify?
State your name.
Stephanie Nagata. I'm the director of the Office of Mauna Kea Management. What I believe you're referring to was the bulldozing of an ahu that was built on the side of the road, and it is in forest reserve lands. It was not in the astronomy precinct. I believe what you're citing, 711, is the desecration that refers to monuments. And I don't believe this particular ahu may have lived up to the definition of a monument. But what you're citing on land use, the definition in land use about the 30 days, what it's referring to, yes, it describes what a land use is. If you erect a structure that's going to be there for more than 30 days, it requires a permit from the Department of Land and Natural Resources. And I believe the HRS statutes that you might be referring to actually refers to historic properties. So a historic property that is more than 50 years is covered by this HRS that you're talking about, which is probably in Section 6E.
The ahu was built by who?
I don't know the particular person, but it was built by a group of the individuals who were protesting the TMT project, and I believe there were a number of them who were residents across the street from the university property.
So would it be fair to say that on comprehensive, one of the comprehensive management plans that was noted in your 2009 CMP and your implementation plan should have been done within 3 years, was noted in the 2014 report that it should be done no later than 2016. It was noted again in 2017 that it should be completed. This is referring to CR7, Native Hawaiian Culture Resources. The university said it would be done by December of 2017. Has that been completed yet?
Are you referring to the cultural?
I'm referring to the comprehensive management plan action that culturally appropriate building of ahu or stacking of rocks should be developed by Kahukumauna, and CR7 that refers to determining the appropriateness of constructing new Hawaiian cultural features. So these are items that should have been done in the comprehensive management plan and implementation plan.
They have been completed, and I believe we reported to you, responded to a letter inquiring about the completion of those particular cultural resources management actions. They were completed. So
did the public know about this in 2015, about your policy for the building of ahu or the stacking of rocks?
Let me clarify. Those CRs were actually developed by Kahukumauna back in 2012. The enforcement, or I shouldn't say the enforcement, but those particular CRs, we call them CRs, would be covered by administrative rules. And as you know, that its admin roles have been ongoing on the part of the university. And so Kahu Kumona believed that they should do something about it because the rules weren't coming out right away. And they developed policies, and the policies basically follow existing rules, laws, and statutes.
Are you referring to the administrative rules that was enacted by the legislature in 2009 when the ledge gave the university power to enact those admin rules?
So the CRs are not rules; those are policies. Those are policies that were required by the comprehensive management plan that the university was to develop. And these came out of the cultural resources management plan that to protect basically, and Kahu Kumano looked at this. It was a very hard, very difficult exercise for them to do because they fully understood that Native Hawaiians had the right to exercise their traditional cultural practices. But they also realized that there are a number of people who are coming up and maybe exercising in copycat behavior. So they wanted to be able to protect the cultural resources while at the same time being able to accommodate and allow Native Hawaiians to continue to exercise their traditional practices. So to protect the landscape, the cultural landscape, to protect the Native Hawaiian practitioners, they came up with a policy such that they would be able to continue to do their exercise, preferably in private, so that others wouldn't interfere with their exercises, and also to cite their constructed act, their whatever it is they wanted to construct, in a location where other people, the general public, would not easily access or unintentionally harm. So those are the purpose behind this.
Are these policies going to be part of the admin rules that will be created on Mauna Kea?
No, they won't be. The policies themselves would not be explicitly described in the rules, but there are certain things in the rules that would apply. For example, removing natural materials, for example, removing rocks that are existing in the landscape. That is a rule that occurs, that's part of the DLNR rules, natural area reserve rules about disturbing the natural landscape. Also bringing up materials from the outside. That is also in current DLNR rules, and our rules by law have to be consistent with the DLNR rules.
So when the Ahu was built in the late summer 2015, did OMKM or anyone consult with OHA on this Ahu that suddenly appeared and tried to figure out what we should do with it?
No, at that time it was, we did not consult with OHA on that. And it was a time where there was great sensitivity, as you know. And so we believe that they should be left alone until such time where we could actually be able to address that issue.
But if it was great sensitivity, why did we bulldoze it? Was the Ahu bulldozed
yes,
or not?
Yes, it was.
Who gave the order to bulldoze the Ahu?
No one gave the order to bulldoze.
Are you telling me a University of Hawaii Mauna Kea Support Services employee on their own started up a bulldozer and desecrated and destroyed an Ahu that was built on Mauna Kea?
It was in an area that is actively used for materials, the storage of materials that are used to maintain the road. And the Ahu happened to be in the way of the bulldozer to access the materials to the road, for the materials for the road.
During 2015, do you think that was the most appropriate thing to do without consulting OHA?
I agree that it was probably not the most sensitive.
Do you think it inflamed the situation even more? Who gave the order to bulldoze the Ahu?
No one gave the order to bulldoze.
Was the bulldozing of the Ahu desecration on Mauna Kea?
I think it was an unfortunate accident or an unfortunate incident on the part of the individual who did this.
Was there an investigation done? Was any, was the individual held accountable? Does the individual still work for the University of Hawaii?
The individual was counseled, and I'm sorry, it's about all I know, and that's about all I can say on the matter.
I would summarize by saying that incident highlights one of the major consequences of the Office of Mauna Kea Management failing to implement these management action commitments that OHA talked about. We're in this situation today because we haven't done our administrative rules yet, that nobody has been given clear direction on what they can or can't do. And the bulldozing of an ahu and the lack of compassion and empathy and insensitivity on behalf of the University of Hawaii for a Native Hawaiian cultural practitioner or someone observing their constitutionally mandated and guaranteed religious rights on Mauna Kea was a violation of everything that we should stand for. Why did OMKM allow that?
Well, OMKM did not allow that.
One of your employees...
It's not my employee.
So the Mauna Kea Support Services doesn't fall under OMKM?
No.
It falls under RCUH?
It is...
Who employs Mauna Kea Support Services employees?
Institute for Astronomy.
The Institute for Astronomy.
The Institute for Astronomy, the Mauna Kea Support Service is actually a support function of the observatories, and they report to the Institute for Astronomy.
You know, the longer we go without administrative rules, the worse this gets.
Yes, I understand, and we are moving forward with admin rules.
This legislature has, the reason why we're here today is because we gave you the authority to promulgate those rules, and 9 years later, we have no admin rules. We have 34 of the 54 CMP items that are most special to Native Hawaiians that have not been completed yet. That's why we have the problem we have today on Mauna Kea.
We are trying to move forward with
We're not doing it fast enough. We gave you 50 years. It's been 18 years since the Mauna Kea Science Plan, since OMKM was created. How much more chances do we need? If anything, it's administrative neglect on behalf of the University of Hawaii, the Institute for Astronomy, Mauna Kea Support Services. That's why we have this untenable pressure and tension on the mountain right now. And if you had treated Native Hawaiians and those cultural practitioners with the respect, we wouldn't be in this situation today. You should have met them halfway. They were crying out for help and guidance, and you gave them none of it. And when they built an ahu, you bulldozed it. And in my opinion, violated state law. At least you should have called OHA. So that's where the desecration is. Since the 2009 CMP was enacted. And here we are, it's 2018, we have no admin rules. And we're about to take those admin rules out into community, the very community that is blocking any astronomy on Mauna Kea, and ask them, can we get your public opinion on this? And then the next night ask them, hey, we'd also like to get comments on an EIS so we can get a master lease. How do you think that's going to go out? It's making the situation worse. It's what you don't understand. Thank you.